Aquarii, this is your reflect on the mid-month of April 2022. Let's see what we can bring to light that has come to pass so we can move forward with a little guidance. You can call me Lady Bree, Bree Aura, any or all of the above. I am your reader. And I also can be a good friend. But Aquarius, you know, you're a sign that I love dearly. My Mars and Venus is in Aquarius, so my long-lasting friendships have always been with Aquarians, a little bit about myself, and also I like to vibe with Aquarius. Something about them just turns me on. Yes. So with that being said, like I said, I could be a good friend, but I make for a better lover. Okay? So anyways, Aquarius, pops out the 10 of Wands. So Aquarius, the beginning of April, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of charge. You have literally come to some sort of climax with all of this passion and this energy that you have put into a certain aspect of your life, and now it's time to move to the next phase here. And we've become to realize that at the beginning of April, okay? So let's see what else comes out. And then here's the Page of Swords. So, you know, you have some stuff to say, and I would suggest, well, since it's already come to pass, you should have kept it to yourself. I don't think you did. But whatever, you know, whatever came out, it came out in, I want to say, not only did it come out in an articulate way, but the way you articulated what needed to be expressed about some of the things that you've already successfully completed, that you kind of met these goals. Slight, you know, modesty and slight, almost like cocky in a sense, but it's okay to be cocky. You know, if you know your stuff, you know your stuff, Aquarius. But also, you got other people paying attention to what you've accomplished, to how far you've come, to some of the, you know, energies that you've had to master here. You know, people got some stuff to say about it, and they're taking notice. Not only are they taking notice, but you're kind of being cocky about it. And if it's not articulating it in words, it's through body language. You're like, you know, this is what I did. This is what I'm doing. I don't give a shit whether you see what I'm doing or not, or you peeped game or whatever. You're just like, you know, yes, I did that. And here we go with the Queen of Swords here. So it's like, no bullshit. You know, you're not about the bullshit. And Aquarius, more than any other sign, it's almost like, yes, you get to what you need to do in the Page of Swords kind of way, and you kind of, you know, go at your own beat of your own drum, which you've already realized that. However, you get shit done and you accomplish what is set out here with the 10 of Wands, and you've proven that. And you've had to be really cutthroat, and you've had to create, you know, certain kind of boundaries with communicating to others, not just to yourself, but literally to others that may be in some sort of superior position higher up than yours in life. And you could put this wherever it needs to, you know, go. You've just basically been really blunt and honest to them about, you know, why it is that you do things the way you do, and why it is that you kind of stay true to your own schedule here, and you're on your own time here, Aquarius. It's like, you know, people don't understand why you do things the way you do them. However, the end result is always successful. if they allow you your freedom, of course. If not, there's just, these bad repercussions where you're going to say something that makes somebody look really ridiculously programmed and conditioned mentally. Okay. And it's like, with the Nine of Wands here in reverse, it's like you're tired of beating up on them for being so damn fucking mind controlled and conditioned. And, I as a reader, I don't want to be that brutally honest, but sometimes, these emotions that I get from some of these reads and channel these energies, and then I have, spirit coming in, putting some of these messages, and it just comes out of my own filter, which can be highly intense. It just depends. But literally, I think Aquarius, you can understand this, and you get what I'm saying here, okay? And this is just something to reflect back on for up until the mid-month of April, okay? So we could use it going forward, seeing how we progress, because sometimes we need to look in our rear view. Not to go back, just to assess, okay? And then we have this card in the deck, which is, I get really good vibes from. It's very connected to a form of union. And it has this overall energetic quality where there's this sense of love and sincerity. And there's this purity to this card. And with the doves and then the water in the background, there's some sort of healing quality that it's almost as if you're very much in tuned with a sensual nature and your sensual needs within your own body here, but within your own connection to both your divine masculine and feminine energies, Aquarius, but also corresponding to the rest of the cards. This is giving an overall sense where you're getting this respect for being yourself authentically, no matter what, period. And people are dropping their guard and allowing you to do so, because I don't really feel this conflictive energy from them. It's almost like, F you if you're going to have an opinion about me and how I get down, what I do, because it has nothing to do with you. And I feel like at the end of the day, people can't do nothing but support, send you love, and respect it. So that's what I'm picking up on. And it's almost like they want to take your vibe and run with it. Or they want to, peep game and kind of just like, dribble the way you're dribbling. And it's almost like, in another sense, you almost feel like, if people are going to go to all this extreme just to almost want to emulate or take from your own creativity or your own inventive quality. You're just like, here, I left you a couple swords, take it. And then you look back as almost like, I got to move on to a better town because I want to leave Haterville, but here's a couple, thoughts. There's two swords. One has an F carved into it, and the other one has a U carved into it. So you left that behind for Haterville, and you're keeping it moving. But you also want to smile and say thank you for allowing me to learn the things that I have learned, and that you really do appreciate me. That's why you give me, or you wanted to give me, such a hard effing time. However, I really could care less either way. Thank you very much. So that's great. And then you're moving right here. So you got this Nine of Pentacles kind of just, shadowing over this it's like you have this Nine of Pentacles shadow. That's like your shadow side, is to be very independent, you know, self-made, doing your own thing, having your own place, having your own thing going on where you can be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and you can just, you know, go to the organic grocery store and get you a bunch of organic fruit and make you a nice salad with yogurt, with all of these organic nuts and toppings, and even some, you know, organic raw cottage cheese to put on your fruit salad. And you're just like, you know, devouring it in your own success and having the freedom of just knowing, you know what, I don't have to just wipe somebody's ass. I can literally just be in my own space and just worry about wiping my own ass, which is great. And that's why I love the Nine of Pentacles, because she's in the position to not only wipe her own ass, but she can actually wax her own ass too. And she can literally bathe in her own success and glory and really feel what it is to just embrace the freedom of, you know, just having some sacred space and not having anybody else's energy kind of like trickle in, where she has to, like, you know, filter, and, you know, you have to, you know how like when other people's energy kind of comes in on your energy, whether you have to go out and be around other people, or if they're in your home, or if you're in another person's home, you have to, like, you know, filter their energy and kind of like allow it to come into yours, you know, as an Aquarian. Because I mean, even though you're fixed air, you get the circulatory, you know, vibrational electric current coming in, and you don't want any nasty, dirty electricity. You want everything, you know, to be, you know, an equal balance of plus and minus. You don't want a bunch of, you know, negativity. You know, you want things to be positive, negative, you know, so you have to like really filter out some of that bad current electricity, you know, that cheap shit. You want it to be pure. So Aquarius, that's what I'm picking up for your reflect on the mid-month of April. So I hope that helped you moving forward throughout the rest of this month. As always, take care and love.